Today's video is exciting because it's a July 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 book haul. I'm forgetting the months. It's been summer for too long and all the days are just merging into one, so. During my exam period I kept telling myself, Anna, you cannot buy books, there is no time to read them, they'll just sit there and taunt you. And then I finished exams, I went out, I bought all of these books. There's quite a lot, I haven't counted, but there's a lot. And I haven't read any of them yet. I've just started one of them, but it's been weird. I think I've just got into like a post-exam kind of haze and I've just been kind of watching TV shows and kind of just lying around, and I'm like, I need to get to this pile of books because there are so many and I'm going to show them to you now, and then hopefully in the comments you can just push me to read them a bit more and be like, oh, this is so good, read it now, and I'll be like, okay, I will. So the first book I've got, and this one I've actually started, is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, and it's the fourth book, not including the prequel, the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series. I'm really enjoying it. I just love this whole world and I love the characters, although certain things are not happening the way I would like them to, but you know, spoilers. But I'm really enjoying how this was unfolding. I really love how it's written, and I'm really sad because once I finish this it means I have to wait till the next book comes out, because then I'm caught up with all the books that are currently out, which is scary because I don't want to finish this. The next book I picked up was Coraline by Neil Gaiman, and I have such a long history with this book. When I was in year 6, our teacher read it aloud to us, and I remember completely loving it. I'd already read a few Neil Gaiman books myself before my teacher read us Coraline, and I'd loved the writing style, I'd loved the way he tells stories, and this was no different. And then we went on a class trip to see the film and it was very, very fun, and I just have very general positive vibes towards this story. I absolutely love the movie. I think it's a masterpiece in stop motion. It's great. I love the story, and I just realised recently that I don't have it and wanted to buy it and reread it and rediscover this world. I then picked up Wise Children by Angela Carter, and I have no idea what this is about, but we had to study Angela Carter's collection The Bloody Chamber for our A-level, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was amazing. I love her writing style, and I think this is slightly different because The Bloody Chamber is gothic and I think this is comedy. So it says, a richly comic tale of the tangled fortunes of two theatrical families, the hazards and the chances. Angela Carter's witty and bawdy novel is populated with as many sets of twins and mistaken identities as any Shakespearean comedy. So it's kind of like a pastiche on what sounds like Romeo and Juliet, but also kind of chaotic Shakespearean comedies, which sounds great. Then I picked up Fight Club just because I've wanted to for a while. Yeah, I kind of know what this is about, but I haven't seen the film yet, and I've wanted to see the film because it's directed by David Fincher, who's one of my favourite directors, but I wanted to read the book first because that's, you know, what you're supposed to do. I then picked up A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. As I said before, I'm loving the Throne of Glass series at the moment, and I love the way she writes, so I decided to pick up her other series, and this is about, I think everyone knows what this is, but it's kind of a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and I'm very looking forward to it. I'm not sure how to pronounce that character's name though. Fair? Oh god. I then picked up Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda, and this is part of my quest to read more LGBTQ fiction, because I've read a few books recently with those themes in it and they've been great, and also I attended Pride this month and I'm just in the mood for some LGBTQ fiction. And this is basically about Simon, who is 16 and basically is kind of discovering his identity and who he is and all of that stuff, and I'm looking forward to it because I've heard great things about it. I then picked up The Raven King, which is the fourth book in the Raven Cycle quartet. I like that word, it's a very nice word. And I'm really looking forward to this because I absolutely adore this series. It's so full of magic and humour, and just, it's a wonderfully crafted story, and Maggie Stiefvater writes beautifully. It's so good. It kind of brings together like dreams and like psychics and ravens. it's amazing. I love it so much. Next I picked up my favourite Manson girl, and I'm really excited to read this. And then main character is called Anna, which is also my name, but that's not the reason I picked this up because that would be stupid. So this is about Anna, who's 15, and she runs away to LA because she's kind of sick of her parents, you know, parent problems. She lives with her sister, and then she kind of you know, starts to realise that she's kind of bored, doesn't really have a lot to do. So her sister's ex-boyfriend offers her a kind of job researching the Manson cult and Manson girls for his next indie film, I think. I might be getting this wrong. And so then she starts to research the Manson cult and the whole thing surrounding Charles Manson and what happened. And if you don't know, I actually had to study this for my EPQ, which I did on kind of psychopathy and how accurately it's portrayed. And I came across the Manson cult in my research, and basically it's Charles Manson formed a cult and managed to convince these people to do killings for him. He didn't actually kill anyone himself, but he's still in jail because obviously he orchestrated the whole thing, and he wanted to start a war between the races and basically kill high profile white people and then blame it on black people. So he's obviously a very disgusting human, but the way he manipulated his cult is very fascinating in terms of the psychology, and I really hope that this book goes into that because I found that absolutely fascinating when I had to do my research. So I'm really hoping this lives up to my expectations. I then picked up The Girls by Emma Cline, and I love this cover, and I've seen a lot of reviews of this on Goodreads. A lot of booktubers that I follow got an advanced copy of this and they were all saying that it was amazing. And from what I can tell, it's about this girl who sees a group of other girls and kind of becomes obsessed with them in a sort of trance-like way. The way it's described is very dreamlike, and a lot of people have said that the writing is very dreamy and kind of pulls you along this journey, which sounds amazing, but it's not very detailed and kind of in terms of the events that happen. It doesn't tell you much about what happens in the blurb, but I'm quite excited about that because I honestly have no idea where this book's going to go, but it sounds like it's written well and has an interesting premise. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't really know what I'm in for though. I then picked up On Filmmaking by Alexander McKendrick, and this is an introduction to the craft of the director. And I'm really excited to read this. If you don't know, I've applied to do film production at uni come September. Hopefully I get in. But this is kind of like light research or early reading. I wasn't told to read this by my uni, but I just feel like I know I want to prepare myself, and hopefully this gets me excited for uni, because at the moment I'm kind of like a mixture of nerves, apprehension and just general dread. So I want to kind of get myself a bit more excited and kind of even out the balance a little bit. The last 3 books I picked up were graphic novels, and I picked up volume 3 of Saga. I think I've mentioned this before. I really like Saga. It's kind of like Romeo and Juliet set in space, but it's really funny, really violent, really kind of non-PC, and the art is beautiful, and I love the story and the way it's done and everything like that. This is a really huge series, and I think it's quite a good starting place maybe for people that might not read graphic novels, because it's got kind of just everything in there. Humour, violence, a good story, good art. It's just covers all the bases. So I really recommend this. It's so good. Then I picked up volume 1 of Sandman, written by Neil Gaiman, who I've already mentioned in this video once, who is amazing. I love Neil Gaiman. I could talk about him forever. He's so good, and I'm really looking forward to reading this because I've heard so many good things about Sandman, and it's a really long series and it's so well loved, and I'm really excited to read it. And from what I can gather, it's, well, the legend of the Sandman is kind of the being that kind of inhibits dreams and kind of feeds on fear in dreams. And I don't know if that's directly linked to this, but I assume so. So I'm really looking forward to that. As I've mentioned actually quite a lot in this video, I like dreamy and kind of ethereal, so this sounds amazing. And lastly, I got volume 1 of Harley Quinn, the new 52 edition of Harley Quinn, because I've heard from quite a few people that this is good, and from having a flick through, I like the art style. And Harley Quinn, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting DC characters out there, and also I wanted to kind of hype myself up for Suicide Squad, the film, which is coming out in August, which obviously stars Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. So I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I'll let you know what I think in my wrap up. So yeah. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you've read any of the books that I hold, please tell me what you think, because that kind of will encourage me to read them and get out of my stupid slump. That would be really, really helpful. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye!